Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go really in depth with chapter 1 of what you would see in the real estate textbook. I'm also going to link the prep agent link down below, and I'll give you a second right now to please like and subscribe because a lot of time and energy goes into making these YouTube videos, so I do really appreciate it and it helps my channel grow. Okay guys, so let's get started. The first thing that we are going to get into is laws and regulations. This is the first chapter in the textbook, so you should definitely have this stuff down. But the first thing we're going to get into is Article 12A, which is New York real estate law. That is in 1922. Make sure you remember the year. So Article 12A is the New York real property law. This is literally like the rules that we have to follow as real estate agents. You know, when you decide you're going to work with someone, they're entitled to fair and honest dealing. There's a way we have to carry ourselves and maintain ourselves. All you really need to know is Article 12A is New York real estate law. These are like the rules we need to abide by. Okay, then we have an associate real estate broker. So an associate real estate broker is an individual otherwise qualified to be a broker but has chosen to work as a salesperson. What this means is you got your real estate broker's license, but you're not going to go open up your own office. So basically you're still going to be working as a salesperson in a different office. The reason people do this is just because it basically sounds better. If you're trying to get a listing and maybe someone else is also trying to get the listing, they can go ahead and say, I'm a real estate agent, and you can go ahead and say, well, I'm an associate broker. It basically just sounds better. If you get your real estate broker's license, but you're not going to go open up your own office, this is basically just a tactic people use to sound better, sound more professional, sound like they're the better person for the job. So you're technically a broker, but you're not going to go open up your own office, so you're going to still be working as a salesperson. Then the next thing we have, basically, like I said before, it just goes hand in hand with 12A, New York real estate law. The biggest responsibility when you have a real estate license is fair and honest dealing. You are expected to act a certain way and be a certain way with every single person you deal with, and fair and honest dealing is definitely something important to remember. Then you have to be 18 years old to become a salesperson, and you need to be 20 years old to become a broker. And then next we have pocket card. So your pocket card, it says here your real estate license, but it's in quotation marks because when you go ahead and pay for your license after you sign with a brokerage, you are technically never going to actually have your real estate license. What you're gonna get is something called a pocket card. So it basically looks just like your driver's license, but this is your proof if you are out in the field that you're actually a real estate agent if somebody wants it. The broker always keeps your actual license. You are never gonna have your license, and that's per Department of State. So this is definitely something they could ask. What you get is a pocket card. Okay, so moving right along. Once you get your license, you're going to have to complete 22.5 hours of continuing education because your license is only good for 2 years. And if you fail to complete that 22.5 hours, you're going to need to retake your state test only. You will not need to redo the school course. It's just going to be retaking your state test only. But yeah, your license is only good for 2 years. Every 2 years, you and your fellow salespeople are going to be doing 22.5 hours of continuing education. Okay, so then we have a kickback. So like it says right there, we have improper commission splitting, undisclosed referral fee, after the fact referral fee, or secret profit. So basically anything that does not include your broker is going to be considered a kickback for the most part. An example of a kickback would be like you basically bribed a company to recommend you and then you actually get a lead because of it. So it's basically like secret fees, under the table deals, under the table helping you get leads, like things like that. Any secret profit that does not include your broker, because as a salesperson, your broker always has to be involved in any kind of money you make. So that's basically all you need to know as far as kickback goes. It's just going to be like a secret profit, under the table deal, under the table bribing, things like that. Next, we have blind ad. So a blind advertisement is basically anything that you do has to have your broker's name on it. Otherwise, it is a blind advertisement. So if you make an advertisement in the newspaper, or you get a listing deal and you don't even mention what broker you're working for, or you get a for sale sign and you fail to put the actual brokerage that you work for, that is considered a blind ad, and that's illegal. You can't do that. Okay, so then we have a broker must keep their license separate from everyone else's and hung up somewhere somewhere really visible. So either in like the front office, the entrance. Believe it or not, this is a possible test question. Your broker needs to keep their license away from everyone else's because like I said, the broker is going to take your license, take all the other salespeople's license, and they're most likely going to have them in a separate area. But the point is they need to have their license hung up somewhere separate away from everyone else's, and it's a really visible area. It has to be in the front entrance, in the lobby, somewhere just in the main office. It needs to be somewhere super visible. Okay, then the next thing we have here is commingling. So commingling is illegal. And like it says right here, it is the mixing of personal funds with escrow or trust funds. So what exactly does that mean? That means, let's say you met up with someone, they decide to lease an apartment, they give you the down payment that which you have to now give to the landlord, but you can't find the landlord anywhere. And now you're trying to call your broker because if you cannot give the money to the landlord, you have to give it to your broker. You're not allowed to just keep the money. Your broker has to take that money and now put it in a separate escrow or trust fund account because that's where they keep all of their down payments, earnest money, all that stuff that has to go in a private account. But basically, if you were to take this down payment or this lease money that you got and you just shoved it in your back pocket and you're gonna just wait for the landlord to come or go deliver it to your broker in 2 days, that is now considered commingling because you're mixing your own personal funds with the escrow or trust funds. If you get any money from a potential buyer or leasee, you have to give it either to the landlord or to the broker right away, or else it's considered commingling. Okay, so the next thing we have here is listing agreement. So that is the broker employment agreement. So when you pass a house and you see the for sale sign outside, it says so-and-so's name with this brokerage. That means that they got the listing. They are choosing that brokerage and that salesperson to sell their house, and that is considered a listing agreement or a broker employment agreement. And the reason that I mentioned that to you is because there are different types of listing agreements you can have. When you get a listing, the listing that you want is the exclusive right to sell, because if you walk into your broker's office and you tell them that you got an exclusive agency agreement or an open listing agreement, they are probably not going to be too happy with you. The exclusive right to sell listing provides the greatest protection to the broker because basically, once you put your name and your broker's name on that for sale sign in front of the house, no matter if you personally find the buyer or the people that own the home find the buyer, if the seller finds the buyer, we still get our commission. Your broker is still going to get their commission. So this basically provides the greatest protection for the broker. If you're going to spend 6 months trying to advertise this person's house, whether you find the buyer or the seller finds the buyer, either way, you guys are going to get paid. Your effort wasn't a waste of time. So basically, you're always trying to make sure you get an exclusive right to sell. But then the difference with an exclusive agency listing means you are only going to get paid if you're the one who finds the buyer for the home. If the seller finds the buyer themselves, they do not owe you a commission. It doesn't matter if you ran ads in the newspaper, if you sent a flyer around the neighborhood advertising their home. It doesn't matter. If they're the ones who literally find the buyer, you guys will not be getting paid. So that is why your broker would probably be very mad at you if you only got an exclusive agency agreement with the seller as opposed to an exclusive right to sell listing. And then the last one right here is an open listing. So this is when a seller is going to enlist the help of multiple brokers, and the brokerage who sells their home is the one that gets the commission. So in this case, you're going to be kind of competing neck and neck with all the other brokerages to make sure you're the one that sells the house. So like I said before, the greatest protection for the broker and for yourself is the exclusive right to sell, because no matter who sells the house, you're going to get paid. Okay, so here we have Article 14, which is Property Condition Disclosure Act. So this means that when you list someone's house on the market, they're going to tell you if there's anything wrong, or they have to tell you if there's anything wrong with their house, even if it's things you can't see. The plumbing is going bad, the wiring needs to be changed, there's cracks here and there, the roof is going to have to be replaced next year. If there's anything at all wrong with the house that they know of, they have to tell you. And then once they tell you, you are required to tell anyone that comes through the house trying to buy it. You have to tell any potential buyers what is wrong with the house. And you're going to make them sign a form that you disclose the condition of the property to them. And if you fail to do this, they are actually going to be entitled to a $500 credit at closing to help pay for the costs a little bit. And then depending on the circumstance, every circumstance is different. As a real estate agent, there are things that can go wrong. And if you do anything wrong, you can be charged with something called a misdemeanor. And if you get charged with a misdemeanor, it can be a fine of $1,000 and also a possible imprisonment for 1 year. You could possibly go to jail for 1 year. And if someone is trying to charge you with a misdemeanor, we have something called Article 78, which is our appeal process. So this is our right to fight back, to go to court and legally defend yourself. Article 78 is our appeal process. We can go to court and prove that we did not do whatever they're saying we did. So the laws of agency is basically the relationship between your principal, your agent, your broker. Just an FYI, so principal is just another word for your client, your customer, whether it be the buyer, the seller, whoever you're working with as a salesperson or as a broker, that's what the principal is. That is something that can come up on the test, so just be wary of that. There is 3 laws of agency. Okay, so the first one that we have here is called a universal agent. So a universal agent basically means that you are giving authority to one other person to make all decisions for you. They can sign your name on a contract. They can make literally any decision for you. They're going to have power of attorney. They're going to be concerning themselves with all matters regarding you. They're concerned with every single matter regarding one topic or one person. Okay, so then we have a general agent. So basically, an example of a general agent is you own an apartment building and you hire a property manager. So that property manager is going to basically take care of every single thing regarding that building only for you. They're going to collect rents. If there's anything wrong or anything breaks down, they're going to take care of it. They're going to be trying to get new tenants for you at all times. They're responsible for every single matter considering that specific thing, that specific topic, that specific building for the real estate example. As opposed to a universal agent, anything that concerns you concerns your universal agent. But as opposed to a general agent, you're going to be hiring a property manager probably for that just one building. If you get a different apartment building, let's say in a different state, you're going to be hiring a different property manager. So then that property manager is going to be concerned with everything regarding that building. It's not like you hire a property manager and they're going to be running to every single apartment building that you have in every single state. That's not going to happen. So a general agent is responsible for everything regarding one specific topic, person, or unit, but then a universal agent literally has the power to make decisions for you, sign contracts for you. They take full control of your life. They probably have power of attorney over you. And then lastly, we have a special agent. So as real estate salespeople, we are considered special agents. So we are concerned with one thing, which is selling homes. If someone hires us, all we're going to be doing is helping them do one thing, which is sell or buy a home. We're not concerned with everything they're going to do at their house after. We're not concerned with making decisions for them, basically what a universal agent has. A special agent is concerned with doing one task at hand for someone else. You have very specific instructions or very specific orders. So as real estate agents, we're special agents. A property manager would be considered a general agent, and someone who has power of attorney over you would be considered a universal agent. Okay guys, so that is what I have for you today. I went over just about everything that is important in chapter 1. I post a new video every Wednesday, and again, thank you guys so much for your comments, for letting me know you passed, for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And let me know what other topics you guys want. If there's anything you specifically want me to go over, I can make a video about it, but I do plan on making a video on just about every chapter in the textbook. So thank you so much for subscribing, and please click the link for the next video.